Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Eurovision Fam stream. It is I, Lili Loves, and I am joined, of course, by...
Shortcake ESC here, and you guys, we have so many updates from this last week. This is probably the heaviest week we've had so far this season. Definitely won't be the last, but we have a lot of names. We have a lot of national selection news, and we have some updates for you before Halloween. So can't wait to get into it.
Honestly,
would you like to get us the conversation started? Sorry.
No. I'll just like to kind of go over everything we're going to be covering.
Yeah.
That way people know what's up. So yeah, we've got a lot of national final news that came out. We got like the Benidorm Fest artist dropped, Vidbir long list. So we're not quite to who's going to be competing to represent Ukraine, but we've got the longer list up. Festivali Kёngёs, the list dropped for that one too. And then from Junior Eurovision, we got the singer from Ireland. And then the song along with the singer for Albania. And this morning, France released their song too. Still a lot of stuff that we're going to be going over this week.
Yeah, and for some reason, I suddenly want to go shopping at Old Navy. But with that said, we got one of our biggest updates from Benidorm Fest just a couple days ago, and we have a lot of people competing in the Spanish national selection coming up this spring, including some people returning and a lot of new names. So many new names.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and let's go ahead and kind of run through the things real quick. So goodness gracious, it's a lot. We have Agony, who competed at Operation Triunfo in 2017. Alfred Garcia, you're gonna remember him. He represented Spain in 2017 after competing on Operation Triunfo. Alice Wonder, Artizaren, Blanca Palamo. She was one of the singers last year.
Secreto de Agua.
That song was so good. Like, I'm sorry, that was like
so good.
I think about that ballad still. It's like really striking, and the way it was staged was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Famous, who was again from Operation Triunfo, but he was from 2018, not 17.
He won 18, didn't he?
No, did he win? I honestly didn't watch it. I think he got. I can't remember. Maybe.
Well, he got a massive accolade from the show.
Yeah.
If not winning, then he was at least made famous.
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Oh, the singer from Armenia also came out today. Sorry.
Dang. No, it's funny how we line up these streams right when all of these news comes out. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling us.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't see that.
It's always when we're on stream where it's just like, oh, here's this new update, and then we're just like, we have to like reorient ourselves to think about that next thing. That's just part of what it's like to be in this world, you guys.
Yeah. Then we have Fusanakta, Jose Otero, Carmento, Megara, Millar, Rocky Ripper, Sharon, Sutherland, Sophia Martin, Twin Melody, and then Vico, and that's who's going to be kind of competing at Benidorm Fest. We went ahead and I did a Discog dive yesterday. So do you want to kind of go over what you found and who is compelling you?
Yes. So just because I list these names right now doesn't mean necessarily that their song for Benidorm Fest is going to be like my favorite, or I mean, we have a lot of names right now. I'm just trying to narrow it down as much as possible, but the ones that immediately stood out to me in terms of discography and like heightening my anticipation would be Rocky Ripper. First of all, I really like how Luna Key of last year and Javiera, I believe her name is, kind of has brought this like new eve of hyper pop to the like a Spanish Benidorm scene. I think that is so fresh, so new, amazing. Rocky Ripper, she could very well display that.
Yeah, with her, it was one of those things where you said it's definitely the first time I've heard hyper pop, like kind of going toward the national final, which it's a newer genre, so
But Spain wants to do it more than anyone else, it looks like. It looks like they are just begging to be the next hyperpop entry country.
I wouldn't say that. To me, at least, I felt like Luna Key's not really hyperpop to me. Luna Key's giving me more like I don't know how to phrase it, but like it's like this. There's a level of trashiness to what Luna Key does that I really appreciate. And when I say trashy, I don't mean it as an insult. I mean it as nothing but a compliment. Because it's like that kind of like,
You mean like kick the amplifier, kind of?
yeah, like that kind of like, it's very punk, but at the same time, it's not the punk genre. It's the punk attitude.
Oh yeah, I would say that's, I guess, a more accurate representation. She puts on the punk aesthetic and like puts elements of that in her production.
Yeah. And that,
Uh,
I really like the aesthetic paired with like the music. I'm really into with with Lucky Ripper too. Like
yeah.
that, it really suits. And it's like I'm not a big fan of hyperpop necessarily, but
hmm
this is like accessible hyperpop. I'm
hmm
old, you guys. Like I'm ancient. Hyperpop is just a young genre, and it's like, it's kind of one of those ones I kind of struggle with.
I think me just being at the very like oldest tail end of Gen Z is why I'm able to understand it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But setting Rocky Ripper aside, I also really like the sound from Fusa Nocta. I
Yes.
thought so modern, so fresh, so new. Megara I thought was really interesting. We don't kind of more melodic rock, which
hmm
typically wasn't my kind of style, but as of these last couple of years, I'm really into it. Alice Wonder, though, I am so taken aback just by the sheer like power of this is a type of person, a type of performer who kind of gives off the same vibe as like Lorraine, how it's just
Yeah.
like there's that like not hollow, but there's that kind of natural timbre in her voice. There's just the aesthetic of the emotion that she brings to the song. Yeah,
When I
those are
listened
my standouts.
when I listened to some of Alice Wonder's work, um, I was getting Spector vibe. Like their voices don't
Mm,
sound anything alike, but there's just a quality to the music that
mhm.
kind of gives me that same kind of like Regina Spektor introspective quality to the
Introspective.
vocal. And it's like
Yeah.
I did find that to be very interesting and intriguing. You
Mhm.
mentioned Megara, and also Julia Suchiero in chat mentioned Megara too. Again, I totally yeah, that was probably the
We
one
need
that
more
stand out to
punk
me the most.
women. We just need more punk women in general,
I
you
wouldn't call
guys.
that punk. I wouldn't necessarily call it punk, but like I love some rock music.
Mhm.
I listen to mostly rock outside of Eurovision. In fact, let me clue you into a little text exchange Jordan and I had yesterday, which was I feel like listening to fresh I like at one point I was like, oh man, I need to listen to a punk album. And yeah, I just kind of like did that for about an hour in the middle of like prepping for the stream yesterday. I was like, let me just listen to some punk music for a bit.
No, it's
I
good.
mostly go to rock concerts. Like that's my
Ah,
thing. I love rock music. Yeah, like I'm drawn to that. I actually like the fact that we have so many groups coming through.
a
I
lot of
had also
groups.
written. I wrote down FM as another one of the standouts for me. I
Mhm.
love a girl group. You give me a 3-part harmony on a girl group, I'm there. I'm excited. Um, and when I was listening to their stuff, it's very pop focused, but it's got like some touches of R&B to it. I loved it. I'm so happy to see we've got a girl group here as well.
Mhm.
Um, just looking here, like Fusanakta was another one I wrote down. I just like what's happening musically, like that
Mhm.
mix of R and
It's
B,
so
hip hop.
satisfying.
It's like
Yeah.
it's really it's really solid and it's really engaging. And then I also wrote down Carmento as another person that I found to be interesting.
So interesting. Like
Like
such a unique performance as like
it's art
style.
piece. It's like an art
Uh-huh.
piece you're watching. It's like bringing art. I don't want to say art house. What's the word I'm looking for? Performance art, kind of infusing performance art into music. I like that we're actually getting some touch of like traditional instrumentation
Mhm.
with everything I heard in the discography from them. And it's again another artist that made me think of Regina Spektor, kind of, but like a different take on that kind of sort of introspective genre. I don't know why, but that name just is what popped up in my head when I listened to Alice Wonder and to Carmento. So
Mhm.
Spain has a lot of options, and even people like we didn't necessarily mention. I liked what I heard from some of them too.
Mhm.
Like Spain is bringing us another fantastic year for Benidorm Fest. I'm so happy to see that.
One thing though, I've not heard any of these artists perform live, even Famous. Like I have not heard any of the live voices, so I'm really interested to see
Alfred
who
live.
among them. No, I know he has performed live. I've only seen him perform as a dancer though.
No, you've
Up to
heard
this
Alfred.
point.
You watched Eurovision 2017.
Oh wait, delete the fact that I said all of that.
He's fine. Honestly. I'm gonna say Famous. He's not the best singer from what I remember, but he's very charismatic.
Oh,
So
I could pick up on that.
I'm one of those people where I keep saying this, and I don't want people don't catch on yet. You don't have to have a perfect vocal for me. You have to entertain me. You've heard Paloma Faith. I'm sorry. I say Paloma Faith. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. wrong country, wrong artist.
Wrong Paloma.
You've listened to Blanca Paloma live last year. Her voice is very striking. And like if she brings us another ballad like Secreto de Agua, I'm here for it because
she could come back with ballads every year as far as I care.
It was just there was something about the performance, the staging, the costume, everything about that was perfect. Like fantastic. I'm glad Spain did not go with a ballad last year because we had a ballad heavy year. But if that had gone through, I think it would have done well, but of course it wouldn't have done as well as Chanel did. Just because we had so many ballads at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Spain has a lot of options, and Spain has a diversity of genre here as well.
They're intentionally going for a diversity of genre with this list right now. I mean, given Chanel was pop, but this was the first Benidorm Fest for Eurovision that had any kind of stakes. The stakes are higher, even higher than last year, in my opinion. And I'm really excited to see how everyone wants to follow up the act that was Slow-Mo, because that is the act that I think changed the trajectory of Spain, possibly for the next decade.
Maybe we'll see. Hopefully,
maybe.
Oh, I want to see Spain up there near the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
my Eurovision country by technicality. So,
I mean, it's my dad's from Spain, but
my last name is Spanish, so there's that.
All right, that's my ties to Spain. As my dad was born.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and we are gonna talking about diversity of genre. Let's go ahead and talk about Vidbir and the long list that dropped for Vidbir.
Yes.
Yeah, like that is a list.
We're being broadcast from a bomb shelter at this point in time for the Vidbir selection, you guys. So it's going to be a little bit of a different time, but we have over 30 acts that were named to try to represent. So
I have no idea how they're going to narrow this list down.
How?
From 36 to 12. I think that 10 is the official number. I've also seen the number 12 floating around too. Because there's some. Okay, let's go ahead and just list off these.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
All right, so we've got Two Tone, Angelina, Dayton, Demchuk, Drevel, Alais, Finka, Havka, Jerry Heil, Vinohavdrova, then Iana Kovaleva, Kozak Sirmoha. With that group, I also found Kozak's sound. Kozak system. I think they're the same. I think that's the group's name as well. Maybe I couldn't tell. Kurt, then Lubasson, Moise, Olivian, and I'm speaking French. Sorry, Olivian, Ula, Oi Sound System, Sasha, Zetix, Seren, Sexiness. I think that's how you would say that. Sexiness. Shy, Skylar, Soa, Timbre Blanche, Terry. Again, I'm just going into French accents here. Terry, Torchi, Torchi, Victoria Nero, and then Lalu 45. Like over here trying to fight speaking French. So first thing, we have like the kind of artists that we recognize from Vidbir's past, specifically Vidbir 2020. Jerry Heil sang Vegan back in 2020. Kurt had the song 99 same year, and then Torchi also had the song from that year, Bonfire. And you want to kind of talk about like your standouts and things like that?
Yes. So, funny. One of the last texts you sent to me before we jumped on stream was like, you have to listen to Finca. And by the time I did, so like, you guys might remember from this last year, I have a very particular attitude toward a trap beat. It does work in some cases. It does work in some cases where it's pulled out very well. Finca, in my opinion, was able to pull that off well in the song that I listened to. Brings a lot of promise with trap meets folk meets electronic. So good. You know me, that's exactly what I listen to when it comes to Ukrainian music. So I'm excited for Finca. I'm excited for Soa. It's kind of a more classic Ukrainian pop sound. Incorporates some trap, but it's not overbearing in my opinion. Strong vocal. And as of 8 hours ago, actually, I just wrote this down. She has a new release out, and it could potentially be her Vidbir entry.
Yeah.
Sexnisk, I think is how you pronounce that. Psych indie rock sound, or at least from what I can understand it, that I really, really enjoyed, and I thought that I could just sit with that music for a really long time. The alumni, I want to talk about the alumni now. Krut and Jerry Heil, I know could perform live. I really love their entries for when they were first in Vidbir. Jerry has progressed a lot as an artist. I've seen Jerry do so much since.
This year, she has been putting out some great stuff. Like this year alone, her discography has been so good.
Her collabs, you got me messed up. You got me messed up.
She's great. Like no, I honestly, because it's like for my introduction to her was like kind of a silly little jokey song about being vegan, and like then I took because I still listen. Like she's one I listen to still, and like this year, her discography has been fantastic. So I'm very happy to see her here. Another Torchy, I listen to them still too. That's another. I never stop listening to Torchy. So I'm like, I'm like, again, with those two in particular, I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited to see them. Like, I just think, and like, knowing how both of them are and how both of them have been doing lately, I'm not worried about what they're gonna bring. Like, I'm curious to see what's like what the official songs are. And like, there's another artist who released something recently. Drevel released a song 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And like people are in the comment section like, hey, this should go to Eurovision, and he's like liking them. So I don't know if that's his Eurovision and like his entry for Vidbir or not. But if it is, hey, it's out there and it's floating in the ether.
It's so crazy how like all of these songs with like maybe 2,000 views just floating around in the Ukrainian music sphere could be the potential next Eurovision song. That is just insane.
You have to like look at the dates and things, but like I had sent you the message like, oh, go listen to Finca. I love Finca. Finca was great. It's like that dancey, electronic, hip hoppy, traditional elements tossed in there. Love that. Livu is giving us like a rootsy rock sound, which I'm into. I love that. I'm a rock person. My taste in rock is diverse and long, and I do like the rootsy rock. Ula is like lo-fi chill electronica. It's like the vocal is so whispery and soft when you listen to this stuff. It's like, okay, I'm engaged. It kind of makes you want to sit up and lean into what's happening.
See, like really quickly, when it comes to that genre in national selection season, it's either pulled off very, very well to a point where it's my winner, or it's not pulled off well.
I always love it.
And that's my thought.
I always love it. I don't know, like I know it's not for everybody. Consistently I do tend to really like that sound in national finals. And I totally get why other people don't. It's like kind of like it's not arresting to most people. You know what I mean? It's not one of those things that makes most people go, oh yes. But like we've got like dream pop here. We've got like jangly college rock, like the Zetix. Zetetics. They're making me think of like the 90s rock scene. And I'm into that deeply. Yeah, like there's a lot of genres here. There's like so much happening. And how you're gonna narrow that down just to 12, 10 to 12. Good luck. I don't want to be on the committee.
Good luck. Like just the fact that you have this many artists who are probably feeling so empowered by the fact that Kalush won. I still stand by the fact that Kalush is one of the most unique winners of Eurovision probably ever.
Yeah,
it's refreshing. I love being in this space that Ukraine has created musically.
Honestly, and thinking about all of the winners from Ukraine, they're all unique. Like they all don't sound like anything else.
Even not the winners, even just like the fan favorites,
Like it's
all
just
unique.
yeah, it's just one of those things where like there's a diversity of genre here. And I do like the fact that like the statement we got from one of the people who's a producer for Vidbir was basically like, we don't want to send the same thing, which, oh my gosh, so many countries need to take that note.
Like
Keep
that
it
is
fresh.
one of the just sexiest things to hear as a Eurovision fan. It's like, oh yes, don't stick around doing the same thing.
It goes above and beyond that though, because it's one of
Above
those
and
things
beyond.
where like that's how you end up like a country that just sends the same thing over and over again, and you're no longer fan favorites. Like you're no longer feeling fresh. There's a reason why Ukraine has 100% qualification.
Yeah, and some countries don't even leave their Denmark.
Oh, I know. We can talk about Denmark one day. We'll save
One
our.
day that will inevitably have to happen. So.
We could. You know me. I'm always ready to talk about why I'm not the biggest fan of what Denmark does at Eurovision.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. But Ukraine is not that way. Ukraine brings the diversity rolling every year.
Yeah, every year consistently they do. Hello, Georgios. How are you?
Georgios,
TikTok is your favorite.
Kalispera.
Let's see. Georgios Papadopoulos says TikTok is one of my favorite songs from Ukraine. I love it. TikTok needed the revamp, and that revamp saved TikTok. Like that polished that one.
I heard the pre-revamp TikTok. You told me to listen to that, and I almost buried my head in the ground.
Like we belong to each other like a sister and a brother. That's just the part. That's the lyric I think about the most.
We belong together like flowers in the attic.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. I have that book somewhere. But yeah, anyways. I'm sorry. But
that was my fault. Anyways.
I'm trying to think, what is my favorite entry from Ukraine? Do you know what your favorite is off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, 1944.
Okay, yeah.
There's something just so irreplaceable about that song, even though I feel like Kalush is a deserving winner. 1944.
No,
that
1944
will always be the song for me.
I remember I can still remember the first time I ever listened to 1944. I wasn't really doing national finals as heavily in 2016. So I remember I came into work one day and it was really slow. And I was like, oh, Eurovision's going to be happening in 2 months. I wonder what everyone's sending. Like it was a day in March. And I sat down and kind of listened to every song. And I stopped for a second. And I was like, oh, this is good. And I got goosebumps. And then I was like, this is not going to qualify. I remember having that thought of like, this is so good, it's not going to qualify.
No, I remember there was that camp in 2016. There was the camp of people who were like, Ukraine is going to flop. I remember that. Oh my gosh, you just opened up a whole...
It was my favorite song from the first time I heard it. It was my favorite song at Eurovision that year. And I was like, this is not going to qualify. Now, what the song I thought was going to win was just to guess what I thought was going to win.
The one that you thought was going to win?
In 2016.
Bulgaria.
Oh, God, no. No, Iceland. I was convinced Iceland was going to win.
No, I was too, and they were my winner. But that was also the same year that I watched the show for the first time, and my winner didn't qualify, and I had to lay down on the ground.
That was me in 2010. 2010 was like a rough year for me. I like lost all my top 10 basically in 2010.
Top 10? No, 2010, a lot of the mostly good songs didn't qualify.
Yeah. It was a mess. Then Georgios Papadopoulos says my favorite Ukrainian song is Wild Dances though. Okay. Wild Dances is a banger.
Wild Dances opened the floor for all the like good Ukrainian music, because I'll be honest, like 03, like girl, what was that? But moving on. Like since 04, since Wild Dances, Ukraine has they've kept it up. They've kept up the heat.
To be fair, the 2000s are kind of a rough time for Eurovision.
For everybody. That's
everyone.
Non-exclusive. Everybody struggled.
It was a struggle. It's a struggle to watch those years. For me, Wild Dances I always associate with Grand Theft Auto. It's one of those songs I knew before I got to Eurovision.
Because it was on the car radio, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the radio station. So like I'm like, oh yeah, let me go carjack somebody and put Wild Dances on.
That's a vibe.
I mean, yeah, like I remember liking it. Then I was like, it's just one of those things that I always associate it with playing GTA.
Carjacking to Wild Dances brought to you by Eurovision Fam.
Yes. But yeah. So those are kind of like who's competing to represent Ukraine at
Yes.
Vidbir, or
Oh,
the
we're
long
doing
list for
great
Vidbir
on time
Fest.
right now.
I
I
know
just
we are.
realized we are.
So let's go ahead and move on to Festivali Kёngёs.
Yes.
So we've got 16 acts who are going to be competing. We don't have the date yet. We have the song titles. We have the artist. I'm going to go ahead and read off the list of the artists.
Yes. Oh, do you want me to do that?
Yeah, I was asking if you could
Oh,
read
okay.
it.
Yeah, I can
Sorry.
do it. I can do it. So, the artists coming to Festivali Kёngёs to try to represent Albania in the Eurovision year 2023 in Liverpool. I know I said that whole complete sentence, but these artists are To Farm, Evi Recci, Permit of Stay, Alban Kondi and Lorella Karoshi, Fabian Basha, Petrit Charkashu, Albina Kelmendi, Fifi, Rosarta Smaya, Anduel Kovaci, Franz Koruni, Rovena Dilo, Arsi Bako, Genti Hosha, Sara Capo, Melodina Manjaku, George Kacinari, Sergio Haidini, Elsa Lila, Luna Kausoli, Urban Band, Enshina Sufi, Lynx, Vanessa Sono, Irma Michi, Manjola Nalbani. That is the current list we're working with for the Albanian national selection this time around, you guys. They're going to be at least in the semifinal that we can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on this lineup?
I'm honestly really happy to see Urban Band is back. I really like what they brought last time we had them.
Urban Band can come back every year. They can come back every
Exactly.
year.
I'm like, yeah, bring them back every year.
Mhm.
It's stacked again. I feel like every year is so stacked with Festivali Kёngёs. It's like you watch it
Mhm.
once, you're like, oh, I got it now. And like you watch it
Mhm.
the next year, and you go, oh, I know what I'm looking for here. Yeah, there's some vocalists. You know, I'm going to talk about who you're.
Mhm. Yes, and I actually have a couple thoughts on this list. So we have some people who are returning. I'm just going to go over this might not be everybody. I might have missed a couple, but the ones who are returning to Festivali Kånges are Enshina Sufi, George Kacinari, Mandiola, Rizarta, Urban Band, and Evi Recci. Those are the ones who we've seen in the recent past, and we see them back. Some Albanian singers are just Festivali Kånges staples, like they are, but FIC every year gives us generally a really wide variety of songs. And it's, I think, in this year going to be a great way to pick up kind of like the slack that'll be left over from right after Vidbir. It'll be a great way to keep the entire fandom still engaged with the contest. But because this is going to be kind of controversial, but because a very upbeat, very strong dance song won Festivali Kånges last year and was revamped to an unrecognizable point in Eurovision, I feel like Albania is going to head back in the direction of a ballad, might head back in the direction of epic vocal as opposed to dance number. That's just my suspicion.
I agree. Just because I know with FIC, it's not really, there's no televote with Festivali Kånges as a jury.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna see a ballad winning. Which I don't mind because I do love an Albanian ballad. Like
Albanian ballad specifically.
Albania knows how to bring a ballad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And these are a lot of ballad singers. Do you have any like favorites from this list of names?
I'm gonna agree with Julia. I keep saying every time I pronounce Julia's name, I'm pronouncing it differently. Julia, please correct me if I'm wrong here.
Mm.
Fifi needs the win. I'm feeling Fifi. I really am. Um, yeah, like I think that's one of the ones I'm just like
I
kind
heard a
of looking
lot
at.
of like stuff about Fifi. Apparently, she's going to be a very highly anticipated artist. I've seen some older Albanian artists talking about the potential of her entry.
Yeah, like Fifi. Evie Reese, I think. Yeah, I love what she had. It was it last year. I'm
She
thinking of.
always does something like that's not super strenuous on the voice or like
Hmm.
performing ability. She's like, I'm here because it's fun. I'm here to
Yeah,
perform, and we're all just listening to music and having a time.
I
That
really,
is why we see her.
I really liked her last year a lot. Like,
Yeah,
because
me too.
I found her to be very like engaging. I was like, this is a
Mhm.
great performance. I don't care what's happening. Like I was just totally like mesmerized by what she was doing. So I think
Mhm.
those are like the two for me that, and then of course the urban band as well. But like kind of
Mhm.
those are the three for me that I'm kind of looking at, and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for you through the most.
Mhm. Oh, really quickly, I do want to also mention uh, Manjola. So she
Oh my
competed.
gosh.
So she competed 2 years ago, trying to represent Albania with in 21 with a song that was just so gladiator-esque. Could ended up not being able to compete at FIC because she got COVID, but
Yeah.
now she's able to compete this year. I almost want something just as equally gladiator-esque and
Hmm.
loud and like kick drummy and like legs and hips and body like kind of type beat.
Yeah,
Where
no,
it's
I
just
get it.
so aggressively like in your face and just screaming, and
I
it's like,
get it.
you guys don't understand. Sometimes you come to Albania with the intention of wanting to be screamed at, and you get that.
I'm sorry, but like when it comes to Eurovision, like when it comes to Eurovision proper, did we have a good Eurovision year if there was not an Albanian woman screaming at you? Like, I mean that is the biggest compliment. Like,
No, you mean that from the bottom of your heart.
I mean that as so much. Like, I just totally 100% mean that. Like, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm there for it. I want to have a statuesque Albanian woman screaming at me, and that
Hmm.
is how I know I'm having a good Eurovision.
Wearing
Yeah,
sparkles.
give me that sparkle and that shine. Give me
Hmm.
the drama. Oh, Albanian women know how to sing. Albanians know how to sing, but like it's just
Citizenship
something.
test.
There's just something about like the way Albania brings a female ballad. That is like that's how you do a lady ballad.
It's something that's just generally irreplaceable. It's something that you cannot replicate generally. This is why
Yeah,
Albania is so special. It's because they have this quality where they invest so much artistic merit into their
yeah.
female ballads.
And I don't think we've ever had a bad vocal from them ever.
No, I literally cannot remember.
Yeah, no. It's like if you're someone who cares a lot about vocals, you're I don't know why Albania is not your favorite country at Eurovision. Like
Hmm.
that's all I'm gonna say because
Like,
it's like
you take a look at like Eugen Bushpepa, for example. Oh,
oh my gosh, every time I listen to Mall, I remember how good it is all of a sudden.
I,
Like
I listen to the
you
FIC mall.
forget.
I don't listen to the Eurovision mall.
I don't mind the Eurovision Mall; both are great malls. But like when it comes to like, I always forget how good of a song that is until I'm listening to it again.
Yeah, I just want to like run downhill through a forest, you know?
I guess and that high note, it's like, yeah, I could gush and like
Albanian. That
go
is
on.
like an Albanian vibe.
Yeah.
That high note is an Albanian flex.
Oh yeah, no, that like that song is so good and his voice is so good.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
yeah,
all
what's
right.
been
So,
great on
any more
time.
thoughts on Albania and their December selection?
No, I'm actually looking forward to FIC. I always look
Hmm.
forward to FIC. I'm kind of sad they're not going to be our first national final this year.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I mean, if
Yeah,
we had to pick one country to like set the scene, if we had to pick literally just one,
yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
well, they weren't first last year either.
No, I know, but I mean, like, if
But
if we
yeah.
had to pick a national selection to precede FIC,
Oh
if
yeah,
we
Vidbir.
absolutely had to select one, it's either Vidbir or a really good San Remo.
Yeah. I
Tea.
don't know. San Remo being too early always feels weird though. Like if San Remo
Mhm.
comes too early, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
it
not
is
into
it is
this.
kind of weird, like when it is too early, because sometimes you just sit with like the songs, and like, I'll be honest, even if it's really good, they can tend to get stale, which is a little sad coming from Italy,
Mhm.
because I don't know, that'll be a subject for a different time.
Yeah,
But
yeah, like
yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm glad we're getting. I'm happy we're getting Vidbeer early because Vidbeer is like one of my favorites. But at
Mhm.
the same time, Vidbeer is one of my favorites. Like it's having dessert before dinner.
It
Um.
is. It's like
So
I'm
yeah,
having cheesecake before crown roast.
I mean, heck yeah.
Why
Um.
not?
Or both at the same time. Um. Goodness. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead now. We're gonna stop. We're gonna leave Fic there. We're gonna head on over to some junior stuff.
Mhm.
So junior, we had a lot of stuff happen. Um. Just gonna get this out of the way because I pulled it up. So for junior, we got the artist
Mhm.
from Armenia. don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's Nare. I know that they recorded the song earlier this week. I have no idea what the song's going to be.
Mm.
And we don't really have a release date yet for the song.
This is all fresh to me. As you're
Yeah.
saying it is as I'm receiving it.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Like we haven't really talked about selected artists for junior. We've kind of been talking about like national finals as we go.
We're gonna be hit with a lot of them at once, though. Just keep an eye out, you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got the national final for Ireland last Sunday, where Sophie, is it Sophia or Sophie?
I think it's Sophie.
Yes, or Sophie Lennon was selected. And like the reason I keep double checking to see if it's Sophia or Sophie is because, do you watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel by any chance?
No.
Okay. There's a character on there named Sophie Lennon. That's all. And like that's what.
Ooh, let's keep an eye on that.
No, she's played by Jane Lynch. That's like an older lady.
Oh,
but like
she's Jane Lynch? Dang.
Yeah. I'm just sorry.
Do you have any thoughts on her voice or on her performance?
Oh no, I love her voice. Like Sophie Lennon, her voice is great. It's like very musical theater. Like you said, it's like it's giving us that musical theater, which I'm into. I like a bit of musical theater in my life. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we're gonna get from the song. I don't know, maybe like it's maybe a Banshee-esque vibe, because Banshee was also like that junior
Banshee
song.
was so good. Banshee,
Yeah.
it was one of my favorite Junior Eurovision songs ever. Ireland, if anything, can produce a really good ballad for their contestants. I mean, they're getting better. They're getting a lot better as of like these last couple of years for what they give to their junior participants. But their ballads, I've always really loved them.
Yeah. And I think that the Irish language lends itself. Actually, I think the Irish language lends itself really well to a ballad, but I think it lends itself well to like most genres, to be honest. I just I think like because that also like Banshee also had like kind of a musical theater quality to it.
Very much.
I feel like a lot of children who get into performing in like the English speaking world, you know, they tend to be into musical theater. Like they tend to be coming from musical theater place.
Hey, I mean, like, this is gonna sound weird, but you guys don't know this about me, but I was a musical theater kid, like, in school for a while. And yeah, for a lot of people, it does help a lot to get that, like, fundamental training, like, at the very beginning when you're younger, to learn how to use your instrument. And a lot of these kids, I'll be frank with you, sound a lot better than anyone I've heard sing live at that same age in the United States.
I mean, I know a child who was on Broadway as
like
a 12-year-old.
Oh, I know a child who was on
Broadway.
I'm messing with you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Oh wait, he wasn't singing though. He was a dancer. So never mind. But yeah, like I know, like because I know someone was on like the production of The Lion King as a child.
Ooh.
But as a dancer, and his brother was into hairdressing. Like that family was so cool. It's just vibes from both of those. Like my dad's friends, kids just had good vibes all around. But yeah, like no, that's such a weird sentence to say. But yeah, like I love musical theater. I've loved it even when I was a kid. I think it's one of those things that like little kids love it and old people love it. So like if you hang out with your grandparents,
all ages.
Yeah, I love musical theater. Everyone should appreciate it more. But yeah, like I totally like her voice will lend itself well to that. I'm hoping for something big, something fun at the same time. So yeah, I'm kind of like thinking I want like a musical theater ballad. So we'll see.
Yeah. And that isn't just the only junior news, you guys. We got a couple other announcements too, kind of like the Albanian song, which has recently been determined as of these last couple days. So Junior Fest 2022 happened on Tuesday. Caitlin Giata, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She won the contest and she will sing Bakazdiel, meaning a bit of sunlight, at Junior Eurovision. And I have heard this song already. Have you heard it?
Yes, of course. So yeah, it's a ballad. But it has like this hopeful quality to it that I really do like. I'm finding it interesting. It's because it's like I don't understand the words, but like there's something about it that just has like this little ray of sunshine peeking through, even though it is a ballad.
Mhm. I don't know how to describe it, but this song almost feels like a GIF. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I get that vibe too. It works for like the time of year that that Junior happens.
Yeah, because like Christmas.
Yeah.
And this song is like I definitely get like a sensation of holiday. I get an idea of just we're heading into the winter season and it's time to just
Hmm.
ah, like take a
Yeah.
deep breath and listen to something that's just simple and nice, kind of a deal.
Yeah, and it's like it's one of those things where you know, the quality of the video wasn't the best in the world, so I'm looking forward to kind of hearing this in studio.
All she needs is time. And then
Yeah.
like when we get those HD cameras, it'll
Yeah.
be all ready to go.
Yeah, like so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one all comes together at Junior.
Mhm.
And then the other thing we had happen this morning was Lissandro was announced to be performing for France with the song "Oh Maman." And France is sticking to that kind of jazzy theme they've had the last couple of years.
It's done them well. It's done them
Yeah.
very, very well to stick to this theme. And it's a very French type of jazz that they do.
Yeah.
Like it's very characteristically like, ah, yeah, like I'm in Paris kind of a
Yeah.
sound. I have
Yeah.
not heard the full song yet. I've only heard the first minute up until right before the chorus, but you've heard more than I have.
Yeah, listen to the
What
whole
did you
thing.
think about it?
Um, it's French. It's it's one of those things like that's what I kind of like about France when it comes to like junior and adult Eurovision. You know it's from France.
Mhm.
Like it just instantly you're like, okay, yeah, I know exactly where I'm at. And it does that. I do like the jazzy kind of sound. I do listen to some jazz music on the side. I'm not just a rock girl.
You
Yeah,
said that in a different font.
yeah. I'm like I'm also a little jazzy,
Mhm.
especially when you're cooking. Like music just makes your food taste better.
I
Um,
agree. I really do agree with that.
Scientifically proven.
Mhm.
So yeah, like that. Yeah, like I'm kind of feeling that. Lyrically, I'm just a little like, okay, okay. It's like I don't know if it's like a matter of like I speak French better than I think I speak for I know how to I understand French more than I think I understand French every time I listen to a song in French.
Mhm.
Or if like just sometimes lyrics are super simple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like with what I was able to listen to in this song, the lyrical content, it wasn't like over the top complex. As a matter of fact, I think this like is something super catchy that a lot of like
Yeah.
younger kids in France could definitely latch onto very quickly and remember the hook of.
Mhm.
It's just it's just I've never heard this singer perform live, so I'm not quite sure his like stage character. But setting that aside, it sounded like it was going to be really upbeat, a lot of
Yeah.
fun. We're getting a lot of um funner songs. I noticed so
Yeah.
far from the lineup, so can't wait to see how this turns around. There isn't that much of a mature sound yet, quite in Junior
Yeah.
Eurovision, but we have so many other songs to wait for. So
Well, yeah, and then Giulia Cicero again. I'm gonna purposely pronounce it different each time now because you've given me permission to. Julia says that Junior France is new number two after Ukraine. I honestly haven't ranked anybody yet at Junior.
I
I've
have
listened to
I have a
everything.
favorite, but I haven't ranked, not ranked.
Yeah, I haven't ranked anyone yet. Like, I don't know. I'll see. I can't even think of like who my favorite would be so far. I'd have to sit down and listen to everything again. But yeah, I like it. Hey, I'm happy to see France up there for somebody. You know what I mean? I'm happy to see Ukraine's also up there for someone. Just because
Mhm.
I love Junior. I think a lot of people sleep on Junior.
So no, okay, yeah. And really quickly about that. I feel like I say this every year in some capacity. If you watch Eurovision, there's no reason you should not watch Junior Eurovision. It is, in my opinion, just as good. It's
Hmm.
just as good, but it's not as stressful. Because with grown vision, with adult Eurovision, there's a lot more like contexts. There's a lot more
Yeah.
things to pay attention to. With Junior Eurovision, this is just kids from around Europe and Asia singing
Hmm.
songs and having fun. And you just feel better after you watch it. So watch
Yeah.
Junior Eurovision, seriously.
Georgios Papadopoulos asks, "Who were your favorite juniors? Who were your top 3 junior songs last year?"
My top 3 last year. Don't ask me this, Georgios. Oh my goodness.
Okay, just give me a second. I have to pull up my
Give me
list.
a second. No, yeah, I'm gonna answer that too.
Stalling for time, stalling for
No, you know
time.
what? We finished our list of stuff. We can cheat. We can do a
Yeah,
little cheating.
a little cheating for the day.
Just a little cheating.
Just a little cheat sheet.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm like, I have to go to my YouTube channel. Hold on. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
going straight to the Wikipedia, my
Okay, well,
friends.
you can go straight to the Wikipedia. I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel.
We, we. Okay, so Georgios, just to recap for, for my opinion, my top 3 for this last Junior Eurovision in Paris was. I almost want to change the list now that I'm looking at this, but I'm just going to say it as it came.
Oh, I remember editing the video. Did I not upload it?
Scandal.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I did. It's just I have to go further back.
All right, so my 3rd place was Ukraine. So Vagil, I believe the song was. 2nd place was Poland, so Sarah James Somebody. And 1st place was Kami Kami, Armenia. So that was my ultimate winner, and I was glad to see it win.
Your winner won. My video still loading.
I definitely leaned in the more like mature song kind of sound with like my top 3 as of last year, but like Georgia last year, that was not a mature song at all, but that is my 4th place. So good. I'm almost mad that I don't currently include it now in my top 3, but just by an inch. Just by an inch.
Okay, it looks like France was my number 3.
Oh yeah, I remember us discussing that.
Who's my number 2? Come on, load. I can't tell who that is. Oh, Ukraine was my number 2.
Yes.
And Georgia was my number 1.
Georgia, my little crate and barrel son, like just sweet.
It was perfection. It was so good.
And it's like I almost identify with him because it's just this is gonna sound really weird, but I feel like I was similar to him, like at his age.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, I'm a little awkward and strange, but you know what? That is my charm, and you love it.
Yeah, no, I loved Georgia last year.
Georgia last year
yeah,
so good. I look forward to them this year because my expectations for them are always high.
Georgia is like a beast at junior. An absolute beast.
Why? But why though? Like they never put this energy into Eurovision. I mean, sure, like Junior Eurovision in Georgia, like they can do something goofy, but when they do something goofy at adult Eurovision, it doesn't carry over the same way. So maybe change the formula.
It does
change the formula for adult.
Okay, Georgios Papadopoulos' top 3 from last year were Russia, Poland, and Armenia. So you guys have the same number 1. And then Julia Sichero, their top 3 was Azerbaijan in 3rd, Poland in 2nd, and Ukraine in 1st. I feel left out now. Like I don't have Poland in my top. I don't have Poland in my top 3. So
come on, you don't have Sarah James in your top 3. America's Got Talent girl.
I think I have her like ranked 6th. I really liked last year's junior.
It was really hard. That was one of the best juniors we've had like in a while.
Yeah.
Let's see if this year stacks up.
Yeah, Azerbaijan was great though. That vocal, like that, it was like giving us Beyonce-esque.
I
first
love
album from Beyonce, power ballad.
Exactly. I love that good like R&B kind of piano, stripped back kind of sad, Leona Lewis almost kind of sound. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's just like I want to cry, but like 2-step at the same time.
And like Ukraine's energy last year was so like just it gave me like that rocker cool chick vibe. It's like,
and I'm really glad to see that we get like a rock ballad again.
Yeah,
Ukraine can do that.
Yeah. And like so that's the stream for this week, I think.
Yeah.
Can't really think of anything else to do. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys.
We'll be back again next week at about 1 o'clock, whatever time it is that we 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Central Europe, it's 20.
20. Is it 19? I feel like it's 19. But either way, you guys
Yeah.
know the time because you see us come on here. And by the way, like if you're on I recently found out actually that Jamie is on the Pacific board. So yeah, 10 a.m. Pacific time. What's up? I see you there. And next week, we're probably going to have a lot more updates on the national selections and junior, like a lot more.
We'll see. The cup runneth over. Absolutely.
Mhm.
If you have TikTok, we have a TikTok video that you can. It's 19 in Germany. Okay, I don't know times. That's Central European time would be 19. 100 hours. Yeah, so we have a TikTok account. If you want to make a TikTok that's Halloweeny themed and Eurovision at the same time, go check it out. Stitches and also duets are turned on. So,
Mhm.
and you can use it as a sound as well. So, if you want to make your
Mhm.
own thing to put yourself in the TikTok algorithm for Eurovision, it's there. Thank you guys so much.
Check
And
out the site, and we'll see you next time.
yeah. So, yeah, like, subscribe, leave some comments, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.